gonna take you back to the past to play the shitty
Monday Night Raw.
Suck ass. He'd rather have a buffalo take a diarrhea dump in his ear. He'd rather eat the rotten asshole of a roadkill skunk and down it with beer. He's the angriest
IWC.
you've ever heard. He's the angry
WWF.
nerd. He's the angry
TNA and Ring of Honor.
nerd. He's the angry
Wrestling.
nerd.
And the Solomonster said something really stupid at the end of this match here. I know, what a shock. Shocking that he would say something dumb. After Titus won, he said, this could put him in that championship match he's wanted for so long. I'm like, for so long? You mean like the one he had 8 days earlier? Like that championship match? It's like, how stupid do they think we are? I mean, do they think our memory... I guess they all think we're Jimmy Snuka, because apparently we can't remember what happened a week ago. So yeah, apparently we all have the brains of a goldfish, according to WWE, and Titus O'Neil does too.
Yeah, about that nitpicker. The only reason why your podcast exists is to tell people about what happened 6 days ago, so apparently you guys do have the memory of a goldfish.
Stephanie also claimed that UFC is not competition to WWE, and to that I say, if they really believe that, and I'm not sure they do, but if they really do believe that, then why not promote the damn fight? If they're not competition to you. And one of your top stars, if not the star that you pay the most money to, I'm sure, one of your own guys is fighting in a major sporting event. It's going to probably do 1.5 million buys on pay-per-view next weekend. It's going to be all over ESPN. It's going to be all over the papers. How do you ignore that on your TV show and pretend like it doesn't exist? I mean, I know WWE.com will probably have a story on it, and Joey Styles will be tweeting about it, but it's almost like unless it happens on TV, it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist. How do they ignore this fight? As big of a media attraction as it's going to be, I just think the whole thing is completely preposterous to just ignore it and pretend like it doesn't exist. At least put a frickin' graphic up and have the announcers do a quick voiceover. And maybe they will.
You can't be this narrow-minded. Tell me you're trolling. Since you're so smart, you should know that any business makes decisions to help themselves and not a third party. What benefit does WWE have in promoting an unrelated event on their own show? The viewer base of RAW already knows who Brock Lesnar is, they already know he has a fight, so what is promoting a UFC event going to do to help WWE? Unless UFC is paying them, which I doubt that they are, nothing. Which is what you're complaining about.
It's just not going to work. You know, he's staring, it's amazing to me, Vince McMahon, who has had so much success over the years, he's kind of the last Mohican standing, all these promoters have come and gone and they've gone out of business or they've died out or whatever, and Vince, 30 some odd years later, is still around. He's got this $1 billion company, this global empire that he's built that's going to live on long after he's gone. And credit to him, he'll go down, he'll go down as the most successful promoter of all time in terms of pro wrestling. But I look at this guy and I say to myself, he's staring at $1 million heel turn. And he's too blind to see it. He's too blind to see it. I just don't get it. I just don't.
I just don't get it. Maybe that should be your new catchphrase along with getting fucked over and Vince McMahon is Hitler.
And the company had its nose just buried so far up its own ass with their own plans that Big Dave paid the price for it. You've been handed a gift. This is not an ideal situation to have one of your top guys popped on a wellness violation. It's embarrassing, but you got to turn a negative into a positive. And I look at this and I say to myself, the best thing that you could do here, it doesn't even have to be on like the first night he comes back or anything like that. You can build to it, because when he comes back, he's going to get roasted. He's absolutely going to get roasted by these crowds. Not that he wasn't before, but it's going to be even worse. So harness that, use it to your advantage, and make money off this guy as the arrogant heel that I'm sure he could probably pull off very well. But he just doesn't want to do it. He just has no faith. He has so little faith in Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose or any of the NXT guys to come up and fill that void that would be created on the babyface side by Roman going heel, that he can't even think about the idea. And now he's got two people like that. You know, he never wanted to turn John Cena heel. And John Cena will never turn heel. And I understand why. I see John Cena doing these events with these kids. Just give it up, okay? It's just not going to happen. But now, you have the risk of, well, every time somebody comes along who's this great, white meat babyface, and we just have it in our heads that this is going to be our guy, and he's going to be our big babyface savior, and they're just going to be so stubborn about it that you're going to have a whole army of John Cenas who would probably benefit from turning heel or having an attitude or whatever, and they're just not going to do it because they're so goddamn corporate now. They're just so set in their ways. He is so set in his ways that he can't even entertain the idea of something like that. And it hurts the product when you do that. It hurts the product when you do that. So I just think it's stupid. I just think it's stupid, and if that's his idea, good luck to him, because I just don't think it's going to work. I think it's going to blow up in his face.
And check this. He's said all this in reaction to a rumor. A rumor. He's so worked up over something that might not even be true, which is completely pointless. Ranting pointlessly. When has the nitpicker ever done that? The rumor in question is a mini-documentary about Roman Reigns and his road to redemption when he comes back from suspension, to be aired on the WWE Network. But I thought Vince wasn't in charge of anything. The WWE Network, you know who said that? The Solomonster. And back when WWE's YouTube page did that top 10 catchphrases video with Roman Reigns being number 1, and who said, oh, it's not a big deal and not to get worked up over it? Right, Solomonster. So the same person who is telling us to not get angry over a video is getting angry over a rumored video. How pathetic. One of these weeks I'm going to list a top 10 of my own hypocritical things said by the nitpicker. Even if that documentary turns out to be legit, what's going to happen? Is all your favorite stars going to get released? Or are you going to act like a crybaby because what you wanted to happen on a certain TV show didn't happen? Good God.
Steve Austin has also been critical of the product. And he said something on one of his recent shows that I actually agree with, and I think it's something that's missing from the show today. So I pulled up a transcript of his comments. This is off the No DQ website. I just want to read this part here. There's just no interwoven storylines which carries throughout the course of a Monday Night Raw, where something, a seed, is planted at the beginning and threaded through the entire show. It's just match after match, segment or in-ring segment, skit, whatever you want to call it, backstage promo, end quote. And I could not agree more. I could not agree more with that. Now, today, you have the opening promo to make a main event for later in the show, and you'll have a few backstage segments with Stephanie, but there's really no major drawn-out show-long storyline that's exciting or that's different than anything that they normally do. They follow the formula. And that's one of the biggest problems I have with the show these days.
Actually, no. Everything seems to be a problem to you. You mean last week's RAW wasn't interwoven enough for him? It had an opening segment, a match during the show, and a match that closed the show. God forbid they're trying to do the other 10 different things you demanded. Weren't you just bitching about how they weren't giving attention to Cesaro and Tyler Breeze and Titus O'Neil and other people before? Now apparently there's too much wrestling on his wrestling show. He has no idea what he's arguing about. He's just nitpicking for the sake of nitpicking. Is there any real logic to this guy? Like at all? First he's unhappy about Paige losing a fucking match he didn't even bother to watch. I know he must feel so special to judge something he didn't even see. Then Paige gets a pinfall victory over the women's champion, but no. Apparently since it was a short match, he's still unhappy. What the fuck does the match length matter? Long matches can be good, Short matches can be good, the only difference is that you have to wait longer to get to the fucking outcome. So when he does actually get a longer women's segment now he's mad that more time isn't devoted into the fucking main event storyline? What the hell? What an entitled bratty man. He doesn't like when people win too much. He doesn't like when people lose too much. He doesn't like 50-50 booking. He doesn't like one-sided booking. He doesn't like matches that are too long. He doesn't like matches that are too short. He doesn't like bad promos. He doesn't like it when certain stars never get to do promos. He doesn't like shows with not enough wrestling. He doesn't like shows with too much wrestling. He doesn't like the commercials that air like, can you just shut the fuck up and enjoy the show? If you're not going to enjoy the show, or for that matter, if you only do your podcast for the 5 people that never heard what happened on RAW up until Sunday, what's the point of your live Twitter poll, especially since WWE does their own polls? Makes no sense. If you honestly hate WWE so bad, then stop watching. I mean, you hate the product, and you know you're going to hate it, you dread waiting for the beginning of it, so why waste your time and cable money? If James Rolfe can refuse to see the new Ghostbusters when it comes out, you can go ahead and stop watching Raw.
God, this guy is so bitter. He sounds so bitter and angry. I just don't get it.